Welcome to the Captain's Table, the Forgotten Logs. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about the second ever Star Trek adventure I ran. Like the first one, it was a once-off, probably for a similar group of people, but again, I don't have very good records from back then, so I'm not entirely sure who the players were. And it was also the first time I'd run a game based on a pre-written adventure. In this case, Homecoming by Dave Biggins. Dave Biggins had written this adventure based on, or as a sequel to, the Next Generation Season 1 episode Haven, all about the Torellians and their plague ship that is trying to find a safe haven somewhere in the universe. The episode Haven ends on an indefinite note. We don't know exactly what becomes of the Torellians after that. And Homecoming sets up a conclusion to this. It lets the Torellians go back home again if the players can make it work. It's a pretty reasonable idea for a sequel. And I don't think we played it, or certainly I didn't run it very well back then. This was probably mid to late 2004. Again, my records are not very complete on this. I don't know exactly when we played it. But I can definitely say that back then I didn't easily have access to the entirety of every episode ever. I certainly did not rewatch Haven if I'd watched it at all. I probably did watch it back when I was, I don't know, 7 years old. But I didn't rewatch it in 2004 before running Homecoming. And I think that had a fairly significant effect on how I ran it. And the main lesson I can give you from this is if you're going to use somebody else's prepared adventures, make sure that you actually prepare them. The fact that somebody else has done a write-up doesn't mean that you will understand everything that's going on. And I definitely had just skimmed through the adventure there. I didn't read it properly. I certainly didn't go as far as to research the episode that it was based on. And so there were a lot of things that I was just winging my way through, looking, scrambling through the pages as the players were asking about what they were seeing and what they were scanning. It was not a memorable episode for us. And in fact, I think that was probably the last time I played with a lot of those same people for quite a long time. I think it was probably about a year until I tried running any other games. So yeah, not a lot to say about this one, just make sure that the GM isn't surprised by the basics of the story. Make sure you've read things through ahead of time, if you're not going to make them up yourself. And if you are going to make things up on the fly, then give up on what's written by other people. Don't feel bound to what they've said. Feel free to go crazy and make up your own stuff, because at least then you're giving the players some content instead of going, I can't remember, let me see. It's not a good way to run a game.